Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
There she is, Jen O'Brien, comedian, and that picture in the background there, that's not a family portrait.
I know, it's confusing, isn't it? I mean, wow, it's hard to tell who's who.
Did you get that as Max, your husband? Is he a picker like American Pickers, and he found that in somebody's garage and he decided to buy it? What?
Yeah, no, he actually made it back in the day when these guys were like on TV and all that. And It's just been sitting in my garage. And I figured since I'm coming on with you guys this morning, Rick's doing the whole beard thing, I figured you'd feel right at home here.
Now, did you ever walk out in the garage and they scared the crap out of you because they're just staring at you like that?
So I was going to film an episode for The Real Housewives, and I had this in the back of my car, and it scared my daughter, who had taken the car to the store. She had no idea, and she about ran off the road because that kind of scares you. She's like, "Oh my gosh."
That would.
Can I be brutally honest here? Now, I know those guys are supposed to be rock stars. I actually only watched maybe a half an episode one time, and it seemed scripted to me, so I got disinterested. Mm-hmm. But can you name? I know you guys know the names. Do you know all the names there? What's the names of the guys there?
Yeah, that's Phil Robinson. He's the main father, and then there's Willie, Uncle Si, and oh my gosh, why am I?
I'm blanking on his name.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's probably one of the funniest. I can't even remember his name. I don't know why I'm blanking.
And Uncle is probably the most popular one, would you say?
Uncle Si.
Uncle Si is pretty funny. Yeah,
I think he makes. Yeah, he's just fun. He's fun to watch. You just never know. Yeah, and it's called scripted reality. And I kind of get what you're saying, Rick. At the beginning, I think we were just so mesmerized by the beards, but after a while you can, and I see that like on all reality shows now. I'm like, oh, that's so scripted. You know, even if that really did happen, you're like, okay, the producers came in and said, can you reenact that fight y'all had? Because or whatever. It's kind of getting more and more obvious. So I don't know. I don't know what I think about that.
A shame. Now, the one there that you say that I look like, that's which one now?
That's
Phil.
Okay. Now he's got a scowl, so I have to do a.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, your sister says Jace. It's Jace Robertson.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin.
Thanks, Robin.
Is she the smart one of the two?
She absolutely is. We both had an IQ test when we were younger, and we both scored very high, but Robin did score higher than me. We were both geniuses, but she was a super genius, and I'll never forget that.
Super genius.
Super genius, and she never lets me forget it. And so I just give it to her. I don't even try anymore. She can take the ball with that.
Jennifer O'Brien, one of our favorite guests. All right, is Max back? Because every time we talk to you, Max is still in Las Vegas gambling your money away. What was the story?
Yes. Am I muted?
I muted you just for a second. We're getting a little bit of a feedback from your speakers there. So
are you? Okay, hold on. Maybe
That's what you get for talking about Robin. So poor.
I know.
Robin's laughing at you right now.
Nice. No, he's back. He's back. Thank God he's back. It was about a 6-month journey, and he's back, and we're fighting again. So all is well.
Good. At least it's a healthy relationship.
It's actually kind of true. You got to have conflict. That's a good marriage has conflict. It really does.
Yes.
Well, now, let me ask you this. Now, you just brought up just a thought. I mean, we all get into our routines, right? And I'm the older of the three of us here, so it's really bad for me. So I'm sure you got used to, in a sense, everything functioned without Max, even though you love him. He's your husband. He's the dad. But when he comes back, does he throw a wrench in the whole thing, or does he kind of flow with it?
Okay, so that's the truth. Like, I really had to pray about that because I was getting really used to the single life in a sense of like, things would stay where I put them. It was really interesting. I was like, wow, it's where I left it. And he's got the Hansel and Gretel syndrome. Like, just follow the trails. Like, if there was ever a scene, something went down, you would know exactly what my husband did, where he did it, because there's just trails everywhere. And, we're almost 20 years deep into this marriage, and I have learned, you let it, you just stop. It's not that I don't care anymore. I've just stopped. There's just certain things. It's like, it's just not worth it. I love them. you become grateful for the person and the companionship. But yes, that was a challenge, having them back in the house, and the snoring next to me. It's things like that. Like, I was like, oh, I had 6 months of bliss and really good sleep, and now I get to, throughout the night, just reach over. And he trained me early in our marriage, because I used to just do that, and that was a discussion of, honey, can you please just gently nudge me?
And you said, no, that doesn't work, because you don't respond to that usually.
Exactly. Yeah. But I've been trained, and sometimes I have to gently nudge about 4 or 5 times. But we've realized, we started propping him up in the last couple months, and that has worked. So we need a Craftmatic adjustable. He's basically like this through the night. He's so raised with all the pillows. And as long as he stays that way, the snoring is bearable.
Okay. Yeah, Max. If Max were on the show, if we were talking to Max, what would he say about coming back and fitting in? What would he be?
I think we both had to grieve it a little bit. I mean, we were both so grateful to be together.
Yeah.
But he had the single life. I mean, he would go to work. He was working long shifts. So basically, he would come home, make himself his favorite thing is fried fish and French fries and pizza. So that was it. He just ate on that, and had a beer here and there. I mean, he was living the single life again. And, so he came home and back to reality.
For those that are watching and listening, that was a joke when I said he was in Las Vegas gambling their money's away. That was
we ain't got nothing to gamble. I'm like, please try to make us something.
Shout out to Robin O'Brien's for singing Weekend at Jenny's, because I was thinking the same thing when you said you have to prop him up. I was thinking Weekend at Bernie's, the way you prop him up there.
I was just with a friend last night. Her husband passed. So, of course, Weekend at Bernie jokes were going. You always got to bring those into the
way to go.
Yeah. So
there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Let's see. The first one I think is, are you still doing Real Wives of the Quarantine? And have you decided, is one of the ladies, because it's a couple of ladies, right? 2 or 3
six ladies.
One of them, does their life kind of shadow yours with Max, as you mentioned about trailing and the whole Hansel and Gretel? I thought that was genius right there. Even though it's real life, that'd be a great.
Yes. You know what? I have a couple. Roxy, she's my New York. She lives in a little community down in Boca. But she talks about her husband, Jerry, and she's always kind of nitpicking a little. I would say maybe I get a little bit out with her, and then because she's pretty much the only one that really talks a lot about her husband in kind of she loves him, but he's annoying kind of way.
Right.
Which, come on. I mean, if you're married, we all feel that way too. It goes on both sides. I mean,
Sure.
But yeah, she would probably be the one that mostly mimics what I'm dealing with here, and to the extreme. But yes, it is going. We stopped for a while and then just started season 2 a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So
okay.
Gave it a little break, and this pandemic's just going and going. It's so I'm just making the episodes a little shorter, so trying to get them a little more shorter and dividing up the ladies. 6 ladies for one episode was so much work. So I'm just
a lot of ladies in one thing. Yeah.
A lot going on up here.
Yeah.
So it's still going, and you check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Now, some of these ladies and their husbands could probably use some help from our buddy Gary Lane, who's watching over here and is great with marital help, and could probably help some of these ladies.
Maybe I need to bring him on an episode as a counselor.
That would be great. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm not kidding. That would be funny. We could do something like that. Do a Zoom. I'm really going to try to bring more people in to season 2. It's part of my goal, because we don't have to be as isolated. So as I continue to make it the episode, hey, maybe you guys, we
know you watch the Radio DJ. So yes.
So maybe I'll think of something and we can talk.
Love it.
Jen O'Brien, we're talking about her Real Wives of the Quarantine. Have you ever thought about actually having maybe 1 or 2 of the husbands show up? And what is the insurance girl? It's not Geico. What's the other one? She dresses up like everyone.
Yeah, Flo.
Yeah, what is that? I don't even know the name.
Progressive.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that, or maybe?
Oh, where they all meet?
Well, wouldn't it? Yeah, where you're everybody. I don't know how you would meet. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my husband and I have been talking because when I first started, it was just me. So I didn't have a lot of technical help so I was in charge of everything. So now that he's back, he's a videographer genius. He knows.
Okay.
He's like the Midas touch. He gets a hold of a video and he makes it golden. So we've discussed how we're going to do that. And I think we'll figure that out. It's coming that they'll all kind of get together. But yes, and I've talked to him about trying to bring him on and different friends that I have. So I'm looking forward to bringing more people on to make it more interesting. The 80s, Rick and Dan.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
the 80s Dan had hair, so that would be fun. Yeah.
I had a mullet. What's in the front? I forget what's in the front.
It's a business in the front, party in the back.
Business in the front, party in the back. Yeah.
I did not have a mullet, but I had it parted down the middle, feathered back, the really cool 80s style.
Sean Cassidy?
Dan,
yeah, kind of Shauna Cassidy.
Dan had the flock of seagulls.
I never had the flock of seagulls. No.
Couldn't
pull that off.
Great song. Listen, I just got my hair cut this week, and I was like, I think, depending on which way the wind blows, I may or may not have a mullet. So I'm like, what's happening to my hair? But it's all the layers.
Love it.
But hey, I do want to announce something. Robin and I, the O'Brien sisters, have a second wave coronavirus special coming out in podcast.
Right.
So we just shot that last night with Mark Stansel, our wonderful producer. And he had
that guy.
He's good. So he had it all set up. We went to his house last night. I'm telling you, it's like it was like going to a resort. He had chips and salsa, snacks, pumpkin bread, coffee. I felt like I needed to leave a tip when we left. I was like, what is happening?
You're breaking into your New York accent here. It's like,
I was waiting for like a hot towel for my face. Like it was that good. And so anyway, that's exciting. So hopefully we'll have that coming out.
Awesome.
Now, hey, why don't you plant this seed? We could do kind of a post, not a production, but a post party after the fact, and he could pull out the snacks, and you could invite your friends like Dan and I, and
as a watch party,
and get pictures taken, and we can meet Max. And
oh yeah, listen, I mean, what a difference. I mean, we did the podcast 3 years ago, Rob and I. It was just really the two of us, and we were on the air on Faith Talk there. So we had like guidelines. We had 26 minutes, and we had to make sure we had a new show every week, and it was fun, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it's just nice. It was so nice just to kind of walk in with little to no prep. Is how can we do the least amount of work and still succeed? That's my goal in life. That's kind of how it felt last night. Mark he had a board set up. It was like we just got to show up and be ourselves and have a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So, we'll have to come back on and do some games with you guys.
Yes, those are fun.
Yeah. Yes. Would we bring Mark along or no?
He's funny. Yes, I definitely think we should bring Mark along.
And the Duck Dynasty boys too. Let's
these guys. Yeah. Listen, and if I could get Max, I don't know. He prefers to be behind the scenes, but.
Well, Jen, we got to take a break, but remind me, when are you going to drop that one that you and Robin?
I just texted her this morning. Hopefully by it drops this morning. Look at that. It's dropping this morning. So please go to the O'Brien Sisters comedy Facebook page. I'll drop it on my Facebook page, and we'll get it out. So please stand by. And listen, if you know any middle school boys, they would definitely love this podcast, because that's kind of where our humor lies. We're nailing that demographic when it comes to the content.
That's why I love you guys so much. I relate to you.
Dan and I, that's us. We're right there.
Listen, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. So please listen and share and all that good stuff.
Jennifer O'Brien, JenniferO'BrienComedy.com. Hey, Jen, we'll check in with you before Christmas to see what's up and see if once we give you our Christmas list to see if we're really going to get what we ask for.
Oh, hey, let's do it.
We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.
Awesome.